If you have a copy of a little pamphlet called Tamerlane, you may be sitting on a gold mine.
It doesn't look like very much, but the Bostonian who did this was Edgar Allan Poe. It's his first book. It's a classic rarity in American literature.
A few years ago, that rarity sold for $800,000.
This is a facsimile. A lot of what I bring are originals, but I don't bring million-dollar pamphlets. But if any of you want to take a close look and then go home and check your attic, cellars, basements, whatever, if you find one, please give me a call.
And that's just one of the tips appraiser Ken Gloss shared with the audience at the Bridgewater Public Library. The owner of the Brattle Bookshop has been evaluating books for 40 years.
A lot of the fun of collecting is learning about something, is studying it, is appreciating it. My parents say my first word was book.
Another hot ticket item for collectors, a Gutenberg Bible first printed in 1456.
If any of you have a Gutenberg Bible, let me assure you that it's valuable. The last time one sold, half of it sold for $5.5 million. Single pages sell between $50,000 and $75,000 on average, and some even more.
According to Ken, any book printed in the 1400s is valuable. After that, it depends on what the book is.
You can have a book printed in the 1500s that was a relatively dull and uninteresting book then, and you know it's still a relatively dull and uninteresting book now. And a book has to be historically, scientifically, literarily, or for some other reason important that there are a group of people out there who want it.
For example,
the first edition of the first Harry Potter book from London, which is only a few years old, 10, 15 years old, will sell for $30,000 or $40,000 because that's what people are looking for. It's all demand.
So all in all, the most important component in a book's value comes from whether or not a group of people want it. Then there are the nuances that add to the value.
My father had a copy of William Faulkner's second book called Mosquitoes. Absolutely pristine, as if someone took it, sealed it away. My father got it. At the time he got it, he sold it within a week for $750. At the exact same time, another book deal had the same book, Mosquitoes, Faulkner, first edition, but it didn't have the paper dust jacket, a few tiny little nicks and bumps, nothing terrible. It took them a year to sell it at $40. Because a lot of collecting is prestige. It's being able to say, look what I've got. I've got the best. I've got the most wonderful. Essentially, I have what you don't have.
Like a rare autograph from a well-known author.
There are some authors that are almost impossible to get their signature. J.D. Salinger, for instance, who lived up in New Hampshire, reclusive, of course, wrote Catcher in the Rye, but didn't appear in public, and other than to a very close personal friend, absolutely would not sign a book. Thus, his signature adds thousands of dollars to the value because you just can't get them.
The job is not an easy one.
When we hire, an interview goes something like this. Do you have any old sports, soccer, football injuries? Do you have any problems with your back, arm, legs, whatever? Do you have any allergies to dust, mold, mildew? And when we get through all of that, then we go, well, where did you go to school? What's your background? What's your education? Because people don't realize this, but if you buy 1,000 books in a fifth-floor walk-up in 95-degree weather, you've got to carry a 1,000 books out of a fifth-floor walk-up in 95-degree weather. It's an incredibly physical job.
But it does provide opportunities unlike any other.
It would be much harder if everybody was all the same every day and there wasn't a new story coming out of it.
Ken welcomes the chance to appraise books and did so for almost an hour following his talk. If you have any questions, you can visit the Brattle Bookshop, located in downtown Boston.
We'd rather have a lot of people call with nothing special than to hear somebody who actually had something and either disposed of it or didn't do it right. So I always encourage getting in touch.
You can see Ken's entire presentation at the Bridgewater Public Library, now airing on BTV Channel 9. For Bridgewater This Week, I'm Alicia Fortin.